Today on Wynn Calls the Heart, we talk about Elizabeth loses her job, Jack loses his friends, and we all lose our minds with that preview. And we have special guest Brian Bird in studio. Don't go anywhere, Hardies.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to AfterBuzz TV. We are here doing Wynn Calls the Heart After Show, Season 4, Episode 5, Heart of a Teacher. I'm your host, Marisa Serafini. You can follow me on Twitter at SerafiniTV. Joining us, we have special guest.
The music.
Brian Bird's back in studio.
Hey, Hardies.
Hi, Brian. Executive producer, showrunner of this show. Welcome back. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah. Where can everyone follow you on social media?
I am on Twitter at BRBird, B-I-R-D.
BR.
Spelled just like Larry, but he's much handsomer than me.
And Larry was a great player.
He's a great player. She likes basketball.
James, I do. I love the Celtics as well.
Yes, she does. She does. Oh, I was like,
In Laker Clipper country, she loves
Yes,
the Celtics.
I know. That's why I don't really talk about it. But James.
And you know who I am. I'm James Lott Jr. You can follow me at James Lott Jr. everywhere in the universe.
Yes, we have
right.
a great episode ahead of us. Heart of a Teacher.
Yes.
Lots of thoughts of this episode, James. Let's start with you.
Okay, I'm gonna tell Papa Hardy over here. You made me cry. I'm sorry. Your show made me cry. I had anxiety attacks, and I was like, it was over. I'm like, wait a minute, it's over. I'm like, the hour went by so fast.
Yes.
Like it seriously did. Because this season, we were saying this. There's a lot packed in the season.
There is. And you know what? I want to give a shout out to Robin Bernheim and the writing staff of the show. They're fantastic. And Robin has actually been sort of in the driver's seat of the creative. We chime in with our ideas and our notes, and Michael and I and the other executive producers, but she's been fantastic. And a lot of that anxiety, you can blame on her.
Okay, Robin, thanks.
Thank you, Robin.
I had to drink some tea afterwards, some tiny tea I had to, yes. How'd you feel, Marisa, about the episode?
I really enjoyed this episode. I think it had a lot of emotional upheavals, and being a woman watching what these women are going through, I'm so happy we're on the right side of history. It was very frustrating, but it was good frustrating because we know that's not exactly what it's like now, that we've evolved past that, but knowing that's how they were treated back then by men, by just society, it's frustrating to watch, but it's great for drama. And I think the show does a great job of honing in on those social issues.
And another thing I've been saying this whole season is that this season I can relate to because there are things still happening today. It's really relevant. Because I live in a town where we're getting a train coming through our town. It's the metro. But we're having expansion happening. And all this happening, I'm like, oh my God, I can relate to there's more jobs and people are getting displaced. And it's completely timeless.
Right.
That's why this is my favorite season so far. I love the season.
Well, you know, the thing is that we're doing history, but we have to do it in such a way that it is relatable, right, to the Hardies and to the fans of Wynn Calls the Heart in somewhat of a universal or contemporary way. And I'm responding constantly on our Facebook community to the history buffs, I'll call them buffs, in the audience, who say, the hair is so beautiful and the makeup is so pretty and so bright and the clothes are so beautiful. This is, the West. And what I want to say is, nobody wants to watch people on TV who haven't bathed in a week.
It's true.
It's called dramatic license. It's called, there's things you may change. But you're not really changing the history or change. It's like they're cleaned up. They're a little, the hairstyle will be a little different.
And you have to make history somewhat sort of understandable, relatable. So if the circumstances of Hope Valley are so unrelatable, then I don't think the audience, participates, because that's the goal of storytelling. You want the audience to actually be sucked into your world, and you don't want to let them go until you're ready to let them go. But if they come in and they're thrown by things, they check out. They say, "I need a snack," right? What am I going to have for a snack after this? That's a bad thing. You don't want them to be thinking about their midnight snacks. You want them to be engaged, and so it's a wrestling match to kind of give them a sense of the history and the authenticity of that, without being so authentic that it's kind of off-putting. Because I've seen TV shows like that I go, it's sort of there's a ick factor.
Yes.
Right. And I feel with people's attention spans so shorter nowadays.
Yes.
It's good to have a show that's so packed with so many great storylines that keeps the audience still watching and engaged, and it's just riveting content to talk about.
And it's still a timepiece. Like I said, people are gonna. I mean, yes, you're not gonna please everybody, and people are gonna pick little things like the hairstyle and stuff. But like, it's still not set in 1970s. I mean, it's set back. It's still set back then. So it's to me, it's authentic enough. I have no problem with it.
Yeah, but we're talking about issues that are still relevant. Let's talk about Elizabeth. I mean, she was humongous in this episode, as every episode.
Yes.
But this issue with Thomas Higgins, the superintendent of the school back in Hamilton and in that area, having this false allegation letter. And now is this the same Thomas Higgins from the book? Brian, you're shaking your head. Yes.
So Thomas Higgins was actually in the original pilot movie for the show that we did. It's been 4 years ago now.
Wow.
And this is the first time we've sort of invoked him again, which I love.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I love. And, if anybody has seen that original pilot movie on the Hallmark Channel, there was advances towards Elizabeth by this guy, and she rebuffed him as any good young woman in 1910 would do. And he got some revenge here.
He did. What were your thoughts, James?
Yeah, because men, they, back then, we saw throughout the episode, they have a certain mindset. Women were to be in this place over here. I can talk to you however I want. I can treat you however I want to, and it's okay. Right. But there were women who are coming up now saying, no, it's not okay. So there was already a buffering happening already with that, because they didn't have the rights fully yet. Right. But it was like it's just I love it. It's just that's my feeling.
Well, we're seeing in Hope Valley this season, there have been a lot of great episodes and storylines about the women sort of being strong. This is something that's been a theme in the show for us, that we've wanted to portray a community full of strong women who've had to overcome incredible hardship, who are resilient. Persistence beats resistance, right? And that's a real truism in Hope Valley. But it's interesting now because the men are pushing back, right? Some of the men, not all of them, but some of the men. Yeah. And even Ray Wyatt, right? Oh yeah. Putting his hands on.
Oh, I know, Faith.
On Nurse Faith.
Oh my God! I was like, what?
And then we had to have Carson come in and save the day a little bit there, because he's an actual, man of integrity, and not a snake. And so, I think it's important, as you say, to we're still echoing themes that exist today.
Sadly,
right? Yeah. And we're the audience loves those women. Yes. And they love some of the men.
Yes. Yes. Marisa, I'll tell you about that.
True.
Yes, he does. Yes.
But they don't want those men to be, be doing a coup d'etat on the town, which is sort of what's happening right now.
It is.
There's a lot of, we were saying it when Paul was here, there's a lot of alpha men on the show this season. Yep. There's a lot.
Yes.
Running around. This is interesting. And the women, you guys have given them stronger storyline this season of trying, like I said, pushing back with Abigail and everything. It's just like, this is really interesting to see these men and women divide. It still does happen today, sadly, in some places.
And the men have to cheat in order to get what they want, too, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll definitely get into it, but talk about...
But Elizabeth, it's kind of cool to have her go back there and see him. And then try to really, and Abigail going with her. Yes. And them trying to figure this out, almost like a PI kind of thing. It was kind of fun. Best friends kind of trying to figure this out.
I think it was really great that Elizabeth went back and to actually confront him, and in a very professional, with tact, and just, I'm asking you to retract this statement that you said about me, because you're causing my job. I lost my job, and this is, my reason for being. And it's very frustrating that it's just the power position that the superintendent is in. And people are going to listen to him, Higgins, and not Elizabeth. And that's so true in today's society, where women are in a lowlier position and they're afraid to speak up.
Yep. They are. And I did say, okay, so I asked Marisa saw it first, because I had shows yesterday, and I said, am I going to cry? The people here know that, now I'm crying all the time now. Yeah. I never like to cry on TV. Now I'm crying on TV all the time. But I did get teary-eyed when the women, before she left, and the women came together. And it was like, first Rosemary comes in, and then everybody started coming in. She's like, oh my God, it's like Grand Central Station here. And the women came in, and when Rosemary says, we're not just friends, we're family, and
I loved it.
Lost like baby, saw like a baby. I thought,
Great
again, it reminds me of like my own family. So we may fight, we may say things, do things, but when someone outside,
Don't mess with us.
don't mess with us.
Right.
And she's a good teacher. Everybody knows she's a good teacher. No matter what you think about anything else, they all know she's a good, effective teacher.
And it just shows how far that Elizabeth has come along in that community.
Yes.
That she's that involved now that people truly care about her.
She's
connected to everybody.
Florence used to call her princess.
Yes.
Right. That's right.
Yes.
And even Dottie wasn't as receiving and receptive towards Elizabeth at the beginning
No,
either.
she wasn't. But like they all came together at the end. It was just like before she left, they gave her like a good send off. Like, we're here. You're gonna fight. You're gonna figure this. We're gonna fight this. I mean,
Yep.
I just love. Again, the sense of community that this show presents. I love it. The village. I love that.
Well, it's on purpose, but it's also organic to just the theme of the show is that this is a community of people that care about each other, right? Like you said, they may squabble from time to time, but they do care about each other, and the culture needs that. I think. We're sort of kind of imploding a bit and constantly bickering and fighting now. People are polarized. You can't post certain things on Facebook because your own family might not talk to you again.
Right.
That's not a good environment. So, hey, we think Wynn calls the heart is like vitamins in the water.
Yeah, I know.
Good nutrition and so it's great that you guys are picking up on those themes because that's what's intended for sure, and it's what's I think makes the Hallmark Channel such a positive place on the cable spectrum, on the TV spectrum, and I love when I hear that Hardies just sort of basically have it tuned to the Hallmark Channel 24/7.
Yeah, I do.
Right?
I do.
Whatever comes on.
She does.
I certainly do.
My mom does. They all do. And it's my mother. She's retired now. She's like, I watch Hallmark Channel all the time. They got this great program, all these great actresses and actors and stories, and they love it. I mean, it's amazing.
It's just great content no matter what time of the day you're watching it, honestly. And anything you're watching on the Hallmark Channel and anything Crown Media is just, it's so positive that you're not worried that it could, deter your day or anything.
Yeah.
Right.
So, well, I love it.
Yeah, and I also like that Elizabeth was like, Jack, I'm okay. I will go I'll figure this out. Which was good because she didn't need him there, buffing up to, him. It was good that the ladies went on their own and took care of that.
Yeah.
And tried to take care of that.
I did like that send off. That was a nice kiss goodbye. That was sweet and endearing. But also when
I'll just say, if you like that one, you're going to need to watch this.
Okay,
one.
Brian.
goodness.
He's stirring the pot already, you guys. He's an invisible spoon with him right now. He's stirring the pot.
It only took us 10 minutes. It's okay. We got a long show ahead of us. But when Elizabeth and Abigail are, trying to face Higgins, they're like, let's do something. And strong women on mission. I love it. But they had the great idea of writing letters to all the other women who might have been affected by Higgins. And I thought that this episode was going to be wrapped in this whole situation and conflict was going to be wrapped in one episode. No, it's going to keep going.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is not a quick resolve.
Yeah.
I know I was shocked by that too, actually.
No, and in case you haven't noticed, that each 2 episodes of this show are very linked, right?
Okay, yeah.
Now, there are big stories that go through the whole season, right? Big character arcs, but each 2 episodes are coupled in such a way is that we set up storylines and then try to resolve some of them, not all of them, but some of them in the second half of that block of episodes. And there's a big show on the BBC called Sherlock.
Oh yeah, Sherlock.
So good.
It's a great
So
show.
good.
Well,
I did the
it's
after show for that as
exactly
well.
what they do. It's exactly what they do, right?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Such a great show.
My mother watches that too. She liked that one.
Yeah, I do the after show for that as well. I watch a lot of Sherlock, which kind of goes into my predictions later.
Yes.
But I like this mission that they're on, and hopefully we do hear from the women, the other women that might speak up and help get Elizabeth.
She has to be a teacher.
for
She has to
this.
be a teacher. She has to go back and be a teacher.
She needs to be exonerated.
Well, I think that something's going to have to get fixed because Mr. Stoneman's going to be talking to himself now.
Yes,
Right.
I know.
Yeah,
I love that.
I know. Let's talk about the children, shall we?
Okay, I want to say this. I said something beforehand. I had an anxiety attack. Thank you, Robin, for the anxiety attack. I didn't realize how protective I was of the kids. And the scene that got me, and I was jumping out of my skin, was the Emily scene. We kept breaking the pencil because she wouldn't hold the pencil the right way. I couldn't. I was like, I needed like Xanax or something. I could not hold it together. I was so upset.
Right.
It's acting. It's just acting. I know, but I was completely in that scene going, stop being mean to her.
So what happened to you as a kid then, if you want to share?
Well, I'm left-handed. So back when I was a kid, they didn't want me to be left-handed.
Oh.
They tried to make me right-handed.
Try to correct you.
Yes.
Yep.
So I did, but wait, I didn't even think about that. Maybe it did just kind of like bring something up for me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
absolutely.
interesting.
Pushed a button there.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Like a moment. So I lay on the couch over there and just tell me all about my life. I just had a moment there. Oh my god! I didn't think about that.
I loved, when I first read that script, I loved the idea that the kids basically became Martin Luther King.
They did.
Right?
Totally. Cody. Led by
Love
Cody.
it.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Revolution. I wrote in my notes, the youngest revolution ever.
Yeah.
was
Right.
great.
It was totally. Yes.
Right. There was a great movie several years ago called Amazing Grace and Chuck, if you haven't seen it. And it was all about sort of nuclear proliferation, you know, in the Cold War and all this. And kids decided to go mute and not talk anymore until these world leaders got their stuff together.
Wow.
Right? It was a really interesting story. And so there's whispers of that idea in Heart of a Teacher this week, and I love it. For kids to stand up and say no more injustice, right? We're not threatening violence.
No.
We're just gonna walk out.
They did too.
We're
Yeah.
on strike now.
I love they did.
I love that because it just shows the impact that Elizabeth has had
Yes.
on
Yeah.
these children, because she's not even in the room,
No.
and yet they're living her philosophy and her teaching, and I think that's great. And the whole idea of bad things happen if good people don't do anything. And I was like, yeah, Cody, what a little man.
I
And this was
know.
like fist pump moment.
Well,
Yes.
as opposed to robots in the classroom, which Mr. Stoneman clearly
Yes.
wants,
Yes.
right? These kids are thinking for themselves, which is exactly how Elizabeth teaches, right?
Well, I
Yes.
love how she ran down to him each of the kids' things.
Right.
Like she's the best teacher on earth. I want her to be my teacher. I want to learn some more stuff.
Yeah, right.
I say it all the time. But she knew each what the PE plays piano, makes them good, and she does this, and she knows her students.
Right.
And he was just like, no, it's like uniform. Again, timely also about education. And it's like, no, if you do it this way, I've been a teacher for 15 years. This is how we do it.
Right.
Yeah, and it just shows like how intimate she actually gets with
Yes.
each child, that she knows how they learn, how they process information, how they open and grow. And I thought that was very telling of her, that she cares more about these children than like how they do it, not the way they do it, you know.
And I was mad about Brownie too. We touching Brownie. I don't touch Brownie. I seriously had an anxiety attack, Papa Hardy. I'm older. I shouldn't have
Brownie.
anxiety. I have high blood pressure. I was like, poor Brownie. Don't take it out of her hands. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Brownie's banished.
Brownie's banished. You can't banish Brownie. Brownie's part of the student body. Should be in there.
He got marginalized to the desk.
You think it was
Oh no, don't
He's in the front of the desk.
lay off
He's in the
Brownie.
desk.
I really enjoyed it. It was a great moment for the children, and even Elizabeth's talk with them at the end.
Right.
And I think it was great that she took the high road as well. It's like, I know it's very unfortunate, but you do still have to treat him with respect and be on your best behavior.
I love that moment too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she could have been like a divorced spouse and poisoned the well, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
With the kids.
Right.
But that's the Hope Valley way. What she did there, taking the high roads, Hope Valley way. Now the men don't. Not all the
No.
men do,
Yeah.
right? But those women know their great virtues, right?
They do. They do. And I want to ask you guys, both of you guys, so that scene where he's kind of listening in and he kind of smiles, does it mean he's changing over, or is he still, what do you guys think?
Oh, that's my prediction.
That's your prediction? Okay. Okay. That scene was kind of like, was he softening, or is he, I don't know.
Yeah, I thought just the look on his face, it
Yeah.
seems like he kind of just respected her as a
Yeah,
person more.
yeah.
Like, even though that he's not teaching the way that she would want to, that he knows that what kind of person she is.
Well, the thing about villains, right? and we have a few of them now,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Not just Henry Gowan.
Yeah.
The thing about villains is that they were somebody's baby once. Every villain was somebody's baby once. You know, they're human beings, and most good villains in any drama have a piece of the truth.
Yes. I like
Right?
that. Yes.
very true.
They're not cartoons. They're not one-dimensional, cardboard cutout people. They should have some depth and some humanity. And so we never, when we're, building stories for anything, and Robin and her team, they know these are some of the only writers' superpowers TV and film writers have, right?
Yeah.
They know that every villain needs to have a piece of humanity in them, so that we can, they're believable, and that you can kind of empathize with maybe something they're going through.
You're right. If they're too cartoonish,
Right.
then they're not good. You're just like, okay, they don't really care.
Right.
But if they have a little bit of humanity in there, you're like, oh my god.
Or if they say something that's true, it makes you think a little
That's
bit.
true too.
Right?
Yes, that's very true.
It's very true. I thought Rosemary had one of the best moments in this episode, sticking up for Elizabeth. What a great fan she has become towards
Yes.
her. And in so Rosemary-like fashion, she kind of makes it about herself, but she does, underneath it all, she does truly care about Elizabeth.
Yes.
I think
So,
the way she said everything
Leave
and
it at
how
that,
she
Brian.
went out to
And she and she and I love how the question back is, so which one is your kid in my classroom?
right.
Yeah. Go away.
I just love that how Rosemary this season especially is, she's getting some really good three-dimensional time.
Yeah.
We're seeing it, and she's still polarizing. Some people are still like, oh my gosh, she's too much, and some people love her. Like, I've grown to love her. When she first started, I didn't like her that much, of course, her character.
Right.
And now I love her, but she's not just a comic relief anymore. She's morphing into other stuff, isn't she?
Yep, she's one of them. She's been integrated into the town and into the values of all the people, and I think marriage suits her well, right?
Yeah.
And she's no longer a threat to Elizabeth in that way, at least.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
which is great, and she's been a confidant, and I'll give her that for everything that she's been through in the show. She had one of the best lines: "Everything in this town is my business."
Yes, I know. It was so her. It was
The
so
biggest
her.
laugh.
Yeah,
Oh my
I did laugh
goodness.
when she said that. That's like the biggest
Yeah.
thing.
His
That was
nasty
awesome.
red pencil grading papers.
How she describes the children at first. Well, at first they were like these unruly, this and sticky. It was like it's just kind of funny, and I love.
Like
I just love
what
her.
a great girlfriend, you hate the friends or the people that your friends
Yes.
are having issues with.
Yes, of
It's
course.
just that blind loyalty that you have.
That's right. We do that.
Which she definitely showed. In
Only
this
I
episode.
get to put her down.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly. I love that.
No, that was great. And Lee's just sitting there. It's like, that's none of my business.
And those two actors they play so well together.
Oh, yeah, they
Because
do.
his looks are like, and there she goes. He's like,
Yep.
he's just kind of like, just sits there, like, he lets her do her thing. He knows he can't really stop her.
Right.
And so his expressions are hilarious too.
Yeah.
They're so good together.
Yeah.
But okay, James, what were your thoughts, and Brian too? What were your thoughts of Stoneman expelling Phillip, though?
Again, I had another anxiety attack. I was just like, how do we mean to him? And his father finally trusts the school. Elizabeth finally got him to trust in the school.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's saying your son's slow or he can't. It's just dismissing him.
Right.
He's gonna bring down the whole class. He does if it's great. I'm like, oh my god, I wanted to jump through the TV.
Yep.
I would have jumped through the TV.
I wanted to shake him.
And shake him, just saying, which again is another kind of contemporary thing,
Right.
with school testing and and school districting and all that kind of stuff. And I just felt so bad for Phillip and his father because they're having such a hard time anyway.
Yeah, I think it was also the way he was delivering the
Yeah.
news. It was not professional, and saying he's going to bring down the average
It was
grade.
rude. It was
Like,
rude.
no.
It was rude.
I was just surprised he could get away with that.
Well,
But,
Yeah,
I mean,
and,
back then,
and,
yes.
and you know what? It is a very contemporary analogy, to what our kids go through these days. But I think it's old school, new school, right? And Stoneman represents, sort of the very paternalistic, do as I say, not as I do. I'm the boss. You just salute and keep your mouth shut, seen and not heard. Elizabeth's completely a more modern, embracing more modern teaching methods. And even, going back to season 1, she was the one that discovered sort of this dyslexia, right, in one of her students. So, Stoneman would miss that,
Yes.
Because he's old school, and if you don't conform to these rigid rules, then you're out. Right?
That's very true.
And I loved what Niall Matter, who plays, Mr. Cantrell, I loved how that was the first time I've actually really, I think, seen him as an actor in our show tear up.
Yeah, he did.
Because he was really locked into the idea of his son getting a good education. And it was a powerful moment of disappointment, but also worry and fear. And that reflects back on him as a dad. If my son's slow, is that true? How can that be? A very powerful moment.
And I think that also speaks to his character too, because Elizabeth has always been pushing, you need to do more, and then I think maybe him being in that position is like, maybe I didn't do enough, to the point where his son is failing out.
Right.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I just think, again, he said his eyes welling up, and just such a great actor, of course.
Yeah.
I had anxiety. I was just like, this is not fair.
Right.
I mean, I seriously watching the show going, this is not fair. It's not fair.
I felt so bad for Phillip though, because he doesn't have really a choice in that matter. It's not his fault.
No, it's not.
Right. And it's also completely unjust because the boy has not had a lot of schooling. So of course he's going to be a little behind the curve,
well, naturally,
of everybody else. But that's what a good teacher does. She takes each, like you guys have said, she takes each student and their specific needs into account, as opposed to this one size fits all. Everybody holds their pencil a certain way, right? And if you don't conform to that, hit the brakes.
You're out. Yeah.
Well, and we also saw Elizabeth during the talk to the children. She's like, you have to go through his classes during the day, but at the end I can still tutor you, which I thought that was great, kind of working the system.
Yeah.
Yes, I did like that too.
Yeah.
Like I did that with my dad. Hi, Dad.
Here's my homework, Dad. Can you help me out here?
Totally relevant. A short little story, totally relevant. So my dad is a math teacher. He teaches the most advanced arithmetic, calculus, trig, all the arithmetic that the normal human being hates. But like in class growing up, I didn't have like the best math teachers in grade school and high school. But at the end of the day, I would still go to my dad and be like, can you teach me and help me? So I would still go through the classes during the day, but at the end I fortunately had another, means of way to learn the education. And I think that's what these kids are doing. Right. It's like they might not have the best teacher right now, but they have another way to still learn what they need to.
Right.
That's good. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she was working. You said work the system. She's like, I'm gonna still work it out.
Yeah, you
like
work
that.
the system.
Work the system.
At the end of the day, smart. Great.
Yes.
And then I do love the children and all that. I felt so. And we saw, we got the mention of a recital. Will we be seeing that?
Well, here it goes.
I think probably we couldn't drop that in unless we're going to pay it off.
Okay.
Because you did mention Bill Avery playing the guitar.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth singing.
And I started laughing. I was like, "It's gonna sing All I Need." Just kidding.
Which made, by the way, Daniel Lissing very jealous.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah.
He actually, I had lunch with him today, and he said that makes him very jealous.
Well, next season.
Next season.
There you go.
Just write it in next season.
Yes.
There you
You
go.
always have more opportunities for that. I really enjoyed it. Let's get to Ray, shall we? Ray's still stirring the pot, so to speak, in Hope Valley.
Right.
We all kind of believe, or at least most of us believe, that Ray paid off Gowan so he can become the mayor, pay him off, put him in that position where Ray can get everything he wants for the railroad. Do you believe this?
Now I don't
James?
like him. Remember you guys, I was on the fence saying, well, maybe the love of a good woman would, But now when he did it to Faith, I'm like, now I don't like you. So I don't trust anything he says. Don't trust him at all about anything at this point. I think he was behind the whole Gowan thing. I think he's I'm not. I was on his side for a little tiny bit. But now I think he's just bad.
Oh, I was never on his side.
I know you were never on his side.
I did not trust Ray from the get-go. No, and especially the way he's treating Faith, too.
Yes, I said I
Very
saw
presumptuous of him.
Yes.
Alpha male coming out.
Jeremy is a great bad guy, and everything I've seen him in, he knows how to work it. He was actually on a Hallmark Movies and Mysteries movie last night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with Candace Cameron.
Aurora Teagarden.
Yeah.
She knows it.
I watched those movies.
Yes. But I think, and I like the scene, again, we have all these men on the show, when he said you made a bad idea to Carson, and Carson's like, oh, okay, whatever. Carson's like, sure. Mm-hmm.
But what a threat.
I know it was a threat to him.
Yeah, he's threatening.
I know.
Shows his darker side.
I'm gonna put my money on Carson.
Yes.
Yes, me too. I like Carson.
Yeah.
He's good. He's good. Well, we learned something about him too. This episode.
Yes, we did. We finally got the reveal of the picture that he was.
Which I think you predicted that. I think, or one of us predicted this.
Yeah, I said that. I thought that was probably his wife or
you
sweetheart, and sure enough, it was.
Yeah.
Well, in a town full of widows, it's not a bad idea to bring a couple of widowers
That's true. That makes sense. That's
to
true.
town, right?
Yeah. No, we got a couple now in there.
Yeah, we did. I wonder if we'll learn more about what happened with him and his background.
I know. At least it's.
And friends.
I would imagine so. I would imagine
I'd hope so. Okay,
Yes.
I think so too. But we also see Bill is trying to get under this investigation of what happened with Gowan, who paid him off, and who paid off the accountant for him to go away.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll learn more about him too.
Well, you know what?
he'll
The
show
thing is that with Ray Wyatt, all I'll say is that he's a guy that covers his tracks.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
he's in the business of putting down tracks, right? He's covering his tracks.
Oh my God.
And
He
he's
just
very-
punned, you guys. He just punned.
he's
There you
very
go.
good.
There you go. He
He's
just
very
punned.
good at what he does. He's very good at what he does. Both laying them down and picking them up.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I like Bill, because Bill to me is kind of the anti-hero, because he can go many directions. He's not really all bad or all mushy. He's somewhere in between. And I love that the show uses him wisely in situations, because he can kind of go that direction or be really super nice at the same time. Reluctantly sometimes. And I like this episode was like he's going to try to figure this out, because he loves the town too. He loves the town.
Yeah,
He has friendships there, and I think he's invested also.
he does.
He doesn't mind taking his bonus money though along the way.
No,
no, he doesn't.
At least he's getting paid for it.
Hey, that's why a man his money. I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's
Make
okay.
it a good bonus.
If you want to pay me to investigate you,
Sure.
that's your problem.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's why I love his character, because he could that's something he would do.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
kind of that morally ambiguous,
Yes.
interesting character, which he's sort of the only one in the town who's not black and white.
I agree.
He sort of lives in the gray spaces.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
It's
him,
good.
I love it. And Jack plays it so well. Jack Waiter plays it so well.
Right.
He's so good at that kind of roguish, kind of like.
Right.
But it's kind of biting wit and sarcasm. But he can also be really sweet and nice at the same time. So I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Jack's not above needing a bag man,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Very
He's gonna stay above the law, but
Yes.
he doesn't mind having a bag man. in the
Hey,
middle.
that's right. That's right.
And he's not
Undercover
afraid.
agent.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
not afraid to get his hands dirty.
No,
too.
not at all.
Right.
Not at all.
And actually face the people that he needs to be facing. He faced Gowan in the street.
He did. He did.
You must be thirsty. That was great.
That was a great line. I love that
Oh,
episode. It was so
zing.
good.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, that was a good line too. I like that.
I want to see what happened with Gowan and
Yeah.
who paid him off. Yeah, I think it's Ray. But what happened to the accountant and get all those answers?
Because
Because
Gowan
it's really
can't be this free
frustrating.
again.
Yeah, it's really frustrating to see Gowan back in this position of power.
Yes.
And he's misusing it.
Oh
Yes.
boy.
Already.
Still.
Making up for lost time.
Oh yeah, for sure. And his terrible mentality of like, well, I had a false allegation against me, and Elizabeth has to learn too. Like,
What's that? Like,
Excuse
what
me?
is that? I'm
It's
like,
like, and you're applying that to her situation?
Right,
That's not
right.
right.
I totally agree with that.
Right.
It's understandable, but that's not right.
Right. When the false allegation was against him was actually real.
Yes.
and
Right.
Hers isn't. You know, not a good parallel.
No, frustrating. Frustrating, but so good. But so good. What are the Hardies saying, James?
I want to say hello to the almost 140 Hardies who are watching.
Hi,
Now,
Hardies.
it's easier for you to see up there.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
easier for me.
I can read
So
that.
let's read some names out to everybody who are out there.
Hey there, Janette
It's Jeanette
Stevens.
It's just Stevens.
That's Janette Stevens.
Yes.
Yeah, my
Hi,
friend
Jeanette.
Jeanette. Yeah,
Yes.
she runs our Instagram page.
I know she's
Yeah.
wow, we love her.
Yeah, and Lisa, great photographer, who helped us at the family reunion. There's Debbie Bailey,
Yeah,
who's
we
right
love Deborah
there.
Bailey, of course. Joyce Keeler, Donna, Emily Johnson, who's a great fan of the show and of ours.
Yes. Hi, Hardies.
Let's see if there's any more. Trisha Kalstein is in. She's great. I'm going to see if the names start going
Got
up.
Kenzie
There
Morris.
we go. There we go.
Laura Pearson, Lori McKenney,
Cassie Murphy.
Kelly Fogg.
Ari Brianna Aguilar.
Lori Meeker.
There we go. Kenzie
Yeah.
Morris.
Yeah.
There we go. We got a lot of them there. They're all in there.
They're
talking.
all excited to see you.
They're here for you.
Well, I'm thrilled to be seen.
Yeah, it's nice to be seen. It's all right. It's nice to be seen.
It is nice. Let's track back just a little bit when Elizabeth is back talking to Thomas Higgins. She talks to her friend Francine also, who might have gone through this exact same situation. Do you think Francine is lying? Because I sure do.
Yes.
Yes, totally.
Yes.
Immediately she
I
went
have
on.
nothing to say about it at all. Like, wait a minute, girl. Come
Are you
on.
kidding me? Oh, like immediately she went on the defense and she started blinking a lot. Pure indication that she's lying.
She watches Criminal Minds, stuff like that.
Right.
Criminal Minds, Sherlock Holmes.
Like Holmes.
I watch too many crime shows to know when someone's not telling the truth.
Well, this is a process, right, for a young woman who may or may not have gone through some other sort of harassment like Elizabeth has.
Yeah.
You know, it took Elizabeth a long time to actually reveal what happened to her.
Yeah.
Right? This is not something that comes immediately, and the defense posture, you know, for Francine is, you know, kind of understandable.
No, it totally is.
Right.
It is.
And but I don't think she's going to take as long as Elizabeth to come to her senses.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we
That
hope.
makes
Well,
me happy.
we hope not. We hope not. Yes.
Yeah, we hope not. And especially when Abigail said a great line. But the good news is you don't have to fight alone. And I think women standing together against, you know, this issue together, you have a better chances of winning.
Right.
I agree. I do agree with that. Again, but again, it's also showing that women back then are starting to stand up. They're not just in the kitchens. They're not just they're actually tackling. You know, we're having Abigail Mayer for a little bit. It was just a great. She stood up to the men.
Right.
She did.
She took her strength that she had normally and used it in other areas. We get to see that a little bit. And the women in this town, we've seen that a little bit. They're using it.
Yep. And I always think it's kind of interesting to think of Abigail as mayor, and she can't even vote yet.
Right.
That's
I
very
know.
true.
Right. Oh my God.
It's a
so
progressive
weird.
town.
Yeah.
That's so weird. Yeah.
It's a progressive town. Let's get into Jack.
Yes.
He has to go to Cape Fullerton, get news from the Northern Territories that's causing issues, full-out war. And did you hear the line that Colin says they have a full reallocation of men to the northern positions, 5 divisions at least? I'm like, oh no, Jack is going up there.
Yep. I know.
Jack is going up there.
Yeah. Well, he has to.
I've been calling it.
She's been calling
Yeah.
it, but he has to. He has to go up there.
He has to. But this Call of Duty of his, I mean, you can see he's torn with not being there.
Yep.
I think and it's a very Mountie thing. I mean, I'm sure he's saying, I mean, he loves the town. He loves Elizabeth. He loves the town. But he has a sense of duty. Like you say, Call of Duty, sense of duty, whatever you want to call it. It's there, isn't it?
I thought it was very interesting when he got his medal a couple of episodes ago that his line was, "The Mounties are my destiny." I'll just
Not
leave it at that.
Elizabeth? No.
Stir the pot. Leave it right there. Yes, that's right. No, it was a great line. I mean,
that's true.
I just feel like since that medal that he has been feeling kind of, I don't know, so to say conflicted or torn, but just like feeling like, wow, this sense of this is what I came in. I want to be a Mountie.
Well, you know, what was really interesting this year is the idea that Robin and her team came up with is that these gun runners are like a cartel.
Oh,
right,
okay,
in
right,
South
yeah.
America, these
Yeah.
they're tough. They outgun the Mounties. They outman the Mounties. That's a war. That's not just criminals that they got to root out. That's a war between a cartel and the good guys.
Yeah.
And a war like that needs good leaders, and the pressure on a young man who's a good leader, but who's also very much in love with the place he lives and the woman that he loves. Great inner turmoil. As Aristotle said, great drama. From great drama comes great conflict, and the other way around.
Yeah.
Right?
They go hand in hand.
Well, look at it also in a way, look at it in a male way also, how there are times when we have our own careers, won't be there for our families. I mean, I used to hate leaving my daughters sometimes, and I would be gone for a week and a half, and the looks on their faces. But my call of duty was, I love this job that I'm doing. I have to go away.
Yes.
And it's going to serve all of us at some point. But so I say it's again one of those age-old things for men.
Completely.
Because we're the ones who are out, the hunters. We're doing that's what we do.
Right.
But also, we got to be sensitive and be there for the ones at home.
My daughter, Mackenzie, my youngest daughter, she's 16. She told me this last week. She said, "Dad, you know what my love language is?" Because there's like a test you can take.
Exactly.
To get your love language.
Yeah.
She said, "My love language is quality time." It was like a knife in my heart. Mr. Big Shot, traveling around and making, TV shows and movies.
Hint, hint.
Yeah. Thanks, sweetie. I get it. I get it.
Yeah, but that's not the age-old thing for us men, because we're taught you get that job, you take care of the family, you take care of the community, you take care of
bread on the table. Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's like we're not taught to
bring the bacon home.
I love some bacon. But it's one of those things that I think, and you just expressed, but we've all men who have gone through that. So I think seeing Jack, we can relate to that and go, wow, that must be tough for him. Because he loves Elizabeth. He loves his town.
He does. And he's just very torn, too. And he's aware of that.
Yeah.
Because I think it was great that Bill even says, you had that call of duty, but you're the one who has to make that decision.
Yep.
Like, you do have a duty towards Hope Valley, and don't go running towards trouble.
Right.
But if it calls you,
well,
you
what
happens,
if you don't, and the Huns take over the world, right? The cartel basically runs rampant, and all of a sudden they're on your doorstep now in your town. There's something to be said for the call of duty, and we all need to thank the people that step up and say, you know what?
Yes.
I'm gonna put my life on the line to protect my people and to root out injustice. So you got injustice playing sort of at multiple levels in this episode, and honestly, for the rest of the season.
Ooh, okay, okay.
Thank goodness.
Yes.
I loved how Jack did stick up for Elizabeth to speaking to Gown. It's like she doesn't deserve this. She's the only one who had guts to stand up to the railroad. I was like, yeah, Jack, defend your woman.
You did.
And then also at the end when he's just encouraging her, it's like, no one can stop you from what you're meant to do. I was like, what a man. What a man.
There's two great scenes with them where I felt like they both leaned on each other. When she kind of just starts to cry, but the whole teaching thing, and she falls into his arms, and then later he finds out that Doug dies, and he falls into her arms. It's like you're showing this true partnership.
Right.
And it shows how much their relationship has, how far their relationship has come, because they now know, without words, they know when something's bothering each other.
Right, and when you can be vulnerable in each other's company and not have to play a tough guy or everything's good all the time, it's a powerful relationship that's evolved here.
Right.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that it was just kind of like, and Jack, Daniel Lissing, gets the tears in his eyes as Jack, and it just hugs her. There was no words to be said. It's like he's missing his friend died, but also now this could mean something else. Earlier, she's a teacher. She goes, this is what I am. This is what I came to do, and now it's taken away from me, and he's just there for her. We didn't need to talk or anything. They just need to hug. Just sometimes that's all you need. It's just a hug.
Those tender moments where they just have each other for support, emotional support. Especially at the end. Rest in peace, Doug.
I know he was.
I saw it coming.
She did. She saw it coming. She predicted
this.
I
predicted that.
He was too nice.
He was too nice. I was like, you cannot get attached to this guy. Nope.
She did say that.
Nope.
Yeah, when Jack watches his girlfriend dancing, having a last dance with Doug, it's sort of the writing's on the wall there.
The fans were not happy about that.
True. I know.
We were sitting there. I thought it was innocent to me, but they did not like
that. I didn't mind that one.
I had some fun with some screen grabs on that one with the Hardies.
But Jack and Elizabeth come a long way to now where they're now in tune with each other. So that's kind of that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Not threatened.
Not threatened.
No, not threatened.
Not at all.
Anything else about this episode, James?
Again, this is becoming my favorite season because I'm able to relate to it, and I just because you had an epiphany today about my left-handedness as a kid. It's hard being left-handed out there. It's hard.
Well, you're very creative.
I'm very creative. I am a creative person. I'm actually a very creative person. But it's very much, this season is really, really, really packed full of good stuff. Good drama. And the one thing I want to ask, I want you to tell people, because I'm trying to get together all the male Hardies out there, tell people out there why men should watch the show.
You know what? I'll give the same answer that I would have given back in the days when I was doing a show called Touched by an Angel.
Yes.
We all have, all of us, men, women, children, no matter where we come from, what era we come from, what epoch we come from, we all have violin strings running through our hearts and our souls, right? And those strings are tuned to these themes: courage, redemption, forgiveness, sacrifice, right? Banding together with one another. All of us. Doesn't matter where you come from, what color your skin is, we're all there. and men and women and kids and people of all shapes, sizes, everything have those strings. We're plucking them for everybody.
Yeah.
So men, step up. You don't lose your man card if you watch Wynn Calls the Heart ever.
Thank you.
Ever. In fact, you get a lifetime membership of the man card.
Yes.
From me. I'm making a ruling right now on that.
I like
I
that.
love it. I love it. And we have a lot of men who do watch the show. They need to. We need to get more.
Yes,
Because it's not just for the women.
No, it isn't. And I've met some other male Hardies, and some of them do watch it with their wives and girlfriends, which is a great thing, bringing couples together.
Yes. Right.
That's good. But there's others. I'm like, you should tune in. Should I watch the show? It's really good. Like, watch the show. You'll find something in there for you.
And it spans all demographics.
Yes,
Not
I
just
agree.
genders, but like demographics. It's like, hey, we saw an Asian in there.
You got an Asian
was
there.
like,
Full
can
blacks
we
there
see
too.
some?
Yes, you did. We
Native
got a little more
Americans?
inclusive in Hope Valley with all the growth this year, and
Yeah.
and the new businesses coming to town. There's lots of opportunity for a lot of people, and I hope we'll be able to actually continue to explore that if we're fortunate enough to have more episodes. So,
Five.
honestly, yeah, there's we have a great Hartie back in New Jersey, Donna Cohen. Who is Jewish, and she's been at the reunion. She and her husband are Jewish family, and she's wondering if we're ever going to have a story that revolves around a Jewish family coming to town, and that's absolutely a great idea
it
for
is.
this show.
See the Christianity and how that ties into one another and how people deal with different types of beliefs.
Right.
Yeah, I think that'd be
Well, as
interesting.
I told Donna, and Donna, if you're watching, hi, I don't know if you are.
Oh,
there she is.
There she is. So we've that Jewish family. See her LOL. That's right.
Yep.
What we try to do on One Calls a Heart is it's not I wouldn't call it a Christian show. What I would do is call it a show about the great virtues that really exist in most of the world's religions.
Yeah.
They sort of overlap, right?
That's true.
They do.
And for those who are Christians, those who are Jewish, those who are of any faith, really, I think there's wonderful principles that we celebrate that exist in all those religions. And for those who say this is a Christian show, I say it's a God show, it's a family show, it's a community show, and for those who keep insisting and say, I say, well, guess what? Jewish folks had Jesus before we did.
They sure did. That's right. They sure did.
Right?
True.
Right.
And everybody gets a piece of him if they want him. So.
That's true. That is very true.
That's very true.
And speaking of Christianity, we had some fun questions from the Hardies, from fans of One Calls the Heart on Facebook. Christina Chen asked, has anyone ever said they became Christian just by watching the show?
Interesting.
I've not heard that specifically. But again, we're hearing bits and pieces, and we see some, messages on Facebook and tweets that come. I've never heard that specifically, that story. I think, the best use of television is to stir up.
There you go.
Yeah,
Stir up. Yes.
Soul cravings in everybody,
Okay.
right? For goodness, for mercy, for again those themes that resonate with most faiths, right? Forgiveness, redemption, mercy, charity, having grace with people, giving people grace to make mistakes.
No.
Those are very Christian themes, and if we've done our job right, as my pastor for many years, whose name is Rick Warren, who wrote The Purpose-Driven Life, and I was a member of that church for 20 years until I moved to Colorado.
Yeah.
He told me, he said, he said, Brian, if what you do with your work just moves people to the door of my tent, I'll do the rest.
I like that. Deliver them there, and I'll do it. Yes, I'll do the rest. Yes.
Start
Right. So we just want for people to appreciate the virtues that have sort of been lost in our culture. And I don't think they've been lost. I think they're still there. I just don't think they get their due on television or in the media. They're not celebrated like they used to be, when we had shows that whole families could watch together.
I agree with that.
I hope it's a very long-winded answer for that question, but I hope that satisfies.
Great. James, did you have a question from one of the Hardies?
Yes, and I believe her name was Rebecca. I forgot the last name. I'll say Rebecca. I'll say her. She wanted to know, what do you think are like 3 things that make your show successful, like to work a show successful?
Great question. I think first of all, having a network believe in a show like this.
Okay.
In this day and age, look, the media has blown up into 1,000 different channels and not 1,000, but a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
And look, there are this year 455 scripted programs on TV. You guys are going to have AfterBuzz shows forever, right?
I
know. With all the shows that you could cover,
yeah.
And we're one of them,
Right.
right? I would, and those are scripted programs. That's not reality. That's not game shows. That's just the scripted original dramas. I would bet you that you couldn't name 5 that a whole family could watch together.
You're right.
Okay? So one, you got to have a network that believes actually that they care whether a whole family can watch a show together. And the Hallmark Channel is part of the company that brings us Hallmark cards.
Yes.
I know.
Right? What a shock, right? Teaches us how to give gifts to each other of beauty and poetry and wonderful thoughts and inspirations. So that's one, a network to believe in a show like this. 2, I think you have to have people that work in the business, craftspeople who believe in how to make the show, that they want to make a show like this. There's not a lot that do anymore, and they want to make zombies and werewolves and dead bodies and all that. So you have to have craftspeople that actually want to do this. And we hear from people all the time, hey, can we come be on your show?
Oh, wow.
We're tired of blowing stuff up. We want to do something that our kids can watch, right? Yeah. Up in Vancouver where we film. And third, you got to have an audience that's starved to death, and they are, right? Hallmark Channel provides food to starving people. That's what I see, because no one else is feeding them. And in the rush to make edgy material, and look, I watch some of those other shows. They're good. You guys cover the whole gamut of shows. They're well made. The production value is strong. The storytelling is good, but they are dark a lot of times, and they become cynical. And so the audience, the Hardies, the worldwide Hardy movement, and all the fans of When Calls a Heart who don't know they're Hardies yet, right? Who need to find out how to be Hardies.
Be a Hardy.
You have to have an audience that has a need, right? We are meeting that need. We are providing them. We are providing food to starving people. So, I hope that's a good answer.
It's a good answer.
Yeah.
I always call this is comfort food for me.
Yes,
it is.
It's comfort food. When I turn it on, I feel good. I'm full. I'm satiated. I feel good. I go to sleep. You have to eat a good meal.
And if it was a sugar donut, you'd get a buzz, and you wouldn't be able to go to sleep and not be satisfied and be hungry in 5 seconds for another.
And it's not healthy either.
No, this is like a pot roast and some mashed potatoes.
Meat and potatoes.
That's right, exactly. I would go to sleep after, and pie afterwards.
Pot stirring.
Yes, pot stirring. How funny is that?
Which you love doing. Speaking of which, I have something for you, Brian.
Yes, she has something for you.
Okay.
So this is, I had a premature notion that you were going to come back on our show, so I got this
I love
back
it.
at
I think I have an idea what this is.
HFR2 time, so I've had this for a while. So this is for you to enjoy.
Okay.
Because you...
Okay to open it here?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yes.
On AfterBuzz TV, all right.
Of course, this is
gonna do that.
Next reveal, everyone.
Okay.
I think you'll enjoy this.
I have a feeling I know what's coming.
Oh, that's my phone.
Oh, my God.
Here we go.
Yes.
Here we go, Hardies.
It's heart.
I hope that's a heart.
It is
it's a heart.
heart.
It's a heart this way. It's something else if you hold it this way.
Yes. It is a heart-shaped wooden spoon
I'm
for
going to
you.
use this with gusto.
Yes. Well, the thing is, okay, this is the reason why. I'm giving you a literal spoon so we can hopefully take away the metaphorical one that you love so much.
I love it.
Because you really are, because we are involved, the actors are involved, but for the executive producer to be really involved with the frontline Hardies, you really are.
Well, I kind of tease my partners on this show, Brad and Michael and Robin Bernheim and some of the others. I say, guys, feel free to step up and stir the pot anytime you want. I don't have to do it all myself. I'm happy to keep doing it, but this started, and you guys caught the sort of the vision for this and the fever for this when you started, doing your show on recaps on our show. When in season 1, when the Hardies began to sort of bubble up on Twitter, a lot of people thought, oh well, we just had a marketing firm build us a movement.
Okay, yeah.
Not true. This was completely grassroots, completely organic because of that thing I said about people were hungry and we gave them food. They responded because we pleased them. They responded because they needed what we're offering. And so when I began to talk to, Erin and Daniel and Lori and Jack and the rest of our cast, I said, you know what? I've never encountered this before on any other show that I've been involved with.
Wow.
This sort of organic grassroots movement. But every Hardie deserves an answer.
There you go.
Right? Whether it's a tweet or a shout out or whatever. And it's not a big commitment of time to go on during the show and send some tweets if you're an actor. And you know what? Guess what? A bunch of other shows are starting to do that now too.
Yeah.
So I feel like we, and others have good ideas about how to respond to their fan base, but it works. And what it does is it fosters loyalty and it fosters friendship and fosters community, and that's what the Hardies are. They are a community. I believe they will continue far long after the show is finished.
I agree.
Absolutely.
20 years from now. So, when we finish 20 years from now.
Yes, exactly. No, exactly. Season 20. No,
Still got a few seasons to go.
Because I said it at HFR too. I said it when I did my testimonial. It's a movement. It's this I've never seen before. I do soap shows and things. There's fan bases.
Right.
But this is more like they get together. We went to a tea last year for the SoCal Hardies. I did a FaceTime with another South Texas Hardies. They really get together.
Right.
And share each other's problems, hopes, dreams, love beyond the show.
Well, when you guys were at the Hardies family reunion, the second one we did in Vancouver in early December, and that Friday night, where it was open mic, when you got up and gave a shout out and a testimony, it was testimony time. It was church. It was kind of like church, right? And it's not like we're trying to replace church for people. It just it comes to be when people love something so much and they want to become friends with other people who have an affinity for what they love. And that's powerful. That is a movement.
It's a movement. I said I will never do anything to the Hardies. I will always be a Hardie. They were there for me in tough times. Seriously, I'm humbled by them.
Right.
I know you are too. I know Marisa is too.
Absolutely.
I will always be on their side for stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No other show does it like
no other
the
show.
Hardies do.
No other show. Yeah. Seriously. No other show.
But that starts from the great show that you guys put on.
Yep.
So.
Yep. A show and a cast and crew that believe in the vision of making community, and a network that says we do too, right?
Yep.
It was the network's idea to put #Hardie up on the screen in season 1.
Oh, wow.
That wasn't our idea.
Oh, okay.
They said we love the fact that these people are coming, up out of the grassroots to love the show. We're gonna give them love back, and we're gonna help them grow. And major vision, by Hallmark Channel to embrace that. Smart. Because a lot of, honestly, a lot of networks and producers and so forth, the more clutter that gets on the screen, they're not crazy about that, right? Because it takes away from the experience. That's one piece of clutter we'll take every time we can get it, right?
Yeah.
And special thanks to Marisa, because she's the one who brought it to this network. I know I get to you. She's the one who brought me to it.
Wow.
And brought it to this network. I didn't know the show until she told me about it.
Because there's 455 other shows.
Yeah, well, and she told me I binge watched like three seasons at once. I binge watched 2 seasons at once, and the movie, and I loved it.
Right.
I was in, and she's like, "Do a show together. Let's do it."
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
And the fact that we could form a panel and talk about it every week, makes me happy, because honestly, this show got me through like unhappy times, and just Hallmark itself has always been there for me to enjoy and for other people to enjoy. But this show means a lot to me as well.
Same here. We actually get giddy when we get here. We're so excited to see each other, to talk about. We're excited to talk about it, and I do a lot of shows here, and this is one of the few shows I really am excited to talk about every week.
It's an
And
honor.
then it's an honor. It's an honor for us. I mean, it's an honor
It's
for
an
us.
honor for you to be here once again in our presence,
Yes.
talking about this.
Same for me.
Thank you. So, before we go, you do have something coming up for you, Kids for Christ.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't like to mix my food on the plate. I like to have
Mix away. You have a spoon.
my food in different places. But but the Hardies have actually embraced it, and this movie is coming out in 3 weeks from now on April 7th, and it's a really. I'm very honored and proud of this movie. I think people are really gonna like it and enjoy it, and it's a true story. I love telling true stories. Several of the movies I've written and produced are true story movies, and I just think true stories, for the audience, you put yourself in their shoes, right? Because it really happened. They say, well, what would I do if I were in their shoes?
Exactly.
And so, anyway, I thank you for mentioning that. I'm hopeful that it will stir up more cravings, for folks that come to see it. So
April 7th.
April 7th. Case for Christ.
Right.
Yes, Case for.
I don't know if we said the name.
Oh yeah, I didn't. Yeah,
okay.
You can though.
Also with Erica Christensen, who's
Yes.
been in Hallmark, and she's great in Parenthood as well.
Erica, Mike Vogel,
Been around for a long time.
fantastic
Great
actor.
actors.
Faye Dunaway,
Yes.
Robert Forster, Frankie Faison.
There's some good actors.
We got
Amazing.
some great actors
Yes.
in this movie, and so I'm very, thrilled and honored. And
But I always say, if you don't see it, be it. If you don't see it, create it.
Love it.
Right?
Yes.
love it.
Yeah.
It's great.
I love it too. All right, before we go, we gotta do
No.
predictions.
Okay.
I'm scared.
And now, your AfterBuzz
TV predictions.
So good. So I was telling James earlier, I was like that all my predictions so far this season have been scary on
You
point to the point
guys.
I shouldn't be doing predictions.
Yeah, she's
anymore.
been right on, you guys. Been
Yeah,
right
it's like
on.
I'm debating whether I should tell my predictions because I don't want people to think I'm spoiling anything.
Right, because you're not. She doesn't know, she doesn't know anything.
I
She doesn't know
completely avoid the spoilers because I can't stand
Same
being
here.
spoiled
Same
myself.
here.
I'm just intuitive.
Same here.
I don't know. James.
I don't
Go
hear
for
you.
it.
I'm like, well, I mean, this the preview was crazy, and
Engagement?
and I'm trying to think. My prediction is going to be there's not going to be an engagement. It's going to be a loving moment before he leaves. That's my prediction. It's going to be a romantic moment because it's going to go off, and then it'll be romantic. I think we think it's going to be an engagement, but I don't think it's going to be an engagement.
Are you kidding me? Why would you set up 150 plus candles out in the yard
Back
if
to
you're not
school
going to
night.
engage me?
Back to school night.
Nope. Don't believe it. I want to say this is an actual engagement. I'm
Okay.
surprised if it is an engagement. If it came earlier in the season than I was kind of expecting. Maybe that to be the end. But
That's why I keep thinking it's going to be at
as
the end.
the finale. But why would you put 150 candles out in the yard just to say I love you if you're not going to
Because
get
it's romantic.
engaged?
Because it's romantic. Let's have some romance.
If I'm gonna spend that time putting candles out in the yard, I'm gonna be like, can you marry me,
Like
please?
some sort of Canadian Cinco de Mayo or something.
Yeah, it's like,
Maybe.
yeah, exactly. It's like doing Canada. They just kind of, they're like, no, James. They went, I know you guys want the engagement.
All those candles, yeah.
I know you want the engagement. Of course,
definitely
you guys
think
want
it's an
it. I love
engagement.
Marissa's face. I
love
said
it.
that. I love.
I think it's an engagement.
Well, I will just say I can neither confirm nor deny
Of
that.
course,
Senator.
Jack is offered a new division.
Yes. He's going
Because
off.
we see Colin actually comes back to Hope Valley and actually tells him.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like something, a serious situation like that, you actually have to say it in person, not via telegram.
I agree.
So I was like, Jack, we need you. That also extends to my previous predictions
Yes,
too.
it
Jack
did.
is going to go. Now they call the dude is actually calling him.
Yeah.
He's going to go.
I think so.
And World War I is about to start.
Yes.
I mean, we're still in the spring now. It starts August 1914. 1914.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
1914. I was backtracking. I think that'll also lead into just World War I, which is not going to be pretty either.
I have a prediction that there's going to be a romantic triangle.
Another one?
Yes. There's gonna be, I think
With
it's
who?
somewhere.
With who?
I think it's going to be one of the major characters. So I'm going to say I have a feeling. I just have this feeling.
Okay. Also, I say there's going to be a cliffhanger now. If the engagement's not going to be the last thing that we see in the show,
Oh right.
this is not going to be the finale. I feel like the finale now that Jack is off and fighting the good fight, that there's going to be a cliffhanger at the end that maybe Jack is in a near-death situation, and it just cuts to black, and we're like, what's
Cuts to black.
happening?
Cuts to black.
What's happening? And they're not even married yet. He has to live so they can get married.
Well, you should all know by now that we love cliffhangers on
Yes,
this.
yes, you do. Yeah. That's all he's saying. That's all he's saying.
I
love
could
it.
predict another cliffhanger if that's
I agree
the
with that.
way we're going.
I agree with that. If we go the way you think it might go next week, then yes, it's gonna be a big cliffhanger.
If engagement's not the last thing we see, then it's going to be a cliffhanger where we're holding our breath still. So
Yes. Well, my prediction is they have to be the next engagement. I don't think anybody else can get engaged before them again. I think I think we already got Rosemary and Lee married. I think everybody like Abigail, and they'll have to wait till afterwards. They're the next engagement. They're the next engagement.
Agreed. And then the wedding could be next season.
Yeah.
Brian.
Don't ask me.
No,
We
I'm
actually
not
have a
asking.
network that has to approve that. So.
Okay. Well, network.
My prediction is they're going to do it.
Wedding.
Season 5 is going to happen. It's going to
Yeah,
happen.
I still want that to happen.
Yes.
But engagement, it looks like it.
Okay.
I'm all happy.
And then we all
I'm all giddy over here. All right, thank you so much for joining us
Yes.
once again,
My
Brian.
pleasure.
You're fantastic.
You guys are awesome to be with.
you.
Well, you're welcome back anytime.
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 Thank you.
So, in the meantime, where can
Yes.
everyone keep following you? Social media, the show,
Yeah,
the movie?
BR Bird at Twitter, BRBIRD on Twitter, and I'm wide open on Facebook. Everybody who wants to be my friend can be my friend. Until I hit that number that where you have to, do something different. I'm not even sure what that is, but
I think it's 5,000. I think it's 5,000.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Me either.
Yeah, and I'm on Instagram sometimes. I probably am not as good about that as I should be, but also at BR Bird there. So,
And your movie, April 7th.
Yeah, April
yep,
7th.
Case for Christ, April 7th.
Yes.
Very good.
James.
You can follow me at Lott Jr. on all social media platforms, everywhere, and just follow me there.
Great, and you can follow me on Twitter at Serafini TV. You can follow all of us here on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all those fun social media platforms at AfterBuzz TV. Keep rating, keep commenting, keep subscribing, keep watching the show because something good is about to happen next episode.
Yes.
And we want season 5. All right, thank you, Hardies, and we will see you next
Hardies.
time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.